Penguin Random House Audio presents Just Desserts by KATY Vine from Texas Monthly, January 2016. Read for you by Lydia Mackay. On most days, around 6:30, Sandy Jenkins would wake up without an alarm and linger for just a few minutes in silence. This was one of the best parts of his day, a time when life seemed full of possibility. He didn't sketch out plans or set goals. Preparation wasn't his strong suit. In those quiet moments, he would lie there and fantasize. He imagined a life filled with travel and prestigious pursuits, scenes set to soaring arias or violins. Maybe he'd be stepping off a private plane, squinting into the distance at a mountain range. Maybe he'd be strutting down a street in some exotic locale while people smiled deferentially. He'd play those fantasies in his head until, at 6:35, he placed them on pause for later. One morning in December 2004, he slid his legs out of bed, petted his miniature dachshund, Maggie, and stumbled downstairs to make coffee. He preferred it strong and black and poured into a fine china cup. After returning to bed, he and his wife, Kay, watched Good Morning America. He liked Robin Roberts. Then he ate breakfast, showered, slipped on his Rolex, surveyed his close-cropped hair for any sign that it was getting too long and kinky, like his father's, and wandered over to his closet. He picked out a pair of slacks and then studied his selection of polo shirts from Dillard's and Foley's, pondering the same choice he faced just about every day: black or gray. Despite his color preferences, he wasn't macabre, not really. It's true that he'd often dreamed of becoming the director of a funeral home, but his fixation had little to do with death. Rather, he coveted the sharp outfits, the rich backdrop, the immaculate black cars, the eloquence and reverent tones. Funeral homes didn't use chintzy stuff, at least not the good ones. In Corsicana, he liked Corley Funeral Home best. It had the most opulent rooms, and anyway, that's where all the wealthy people went. But funeral homes were just a hobby. He wasn't a funeral director. He was an accountant, just 10 years shy of collecting his Social Security so he could retire, and if he stood in front of his closet any longer, he'd be late for work. He pulled into his parking space at 7:55 a.m. He'd spent the full 10-minute commute imagining that he was driving a newer car instead of his 5-year-old Lexus. Putting that fantasy on hold, he grabbed his weathered briefcase and entered the front door of the best-known business in Corsicana, the Collin Street Bakery, which, if you didn't know, is the world's most renowned.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?